Thank you everyone for joining our webinar this morning. Let's see, or afternoon, wherever you are. We'll go ahead and get started. So today we're going to talk about edge integration. The webinar is entitled From POS to Online Success, the Edge and Shopify Integration Explained. So, we're an edge partner and we do a lot of integrations on Shopify. We're a Shopify partner as well. And so we get a lot of questions about how does the edge integration work? And, we feel like it's really beneficial because it could really provide a opportunity to have an omni-channel type of experience where, whatever's in your store is online, whatever's online is in your store, and then you can feed those products into other networks like, Google Shopping and Meta Shop and all those kind of things. So really wanted to put this together. It's kind of going to be a little training session. We'll also talk about some of the benefits of Shopify, some of the apps that could be beneficial once you build your website on Shopify. We'll talk about the econ benefits and features of econ, which is the Edge app they've created for the Shopify integration. And then Emily and Rodney are going to walk through a demo of econ installed on Rodney's device, as well as we're going to walk through Shopify a little bit. So I think Emily's got quite a bit more that she's going to be going into, but generally we'll talk about best practices. We'll go into the item details, product filters, product mapping, images, 360 videos, and then some of the Shopify settings. Then we'll open it up for a Q&A. But if you do have any questions throughout, I could potentially, if I see one that makes sense, we're not interrupting, you could put it in the Q&A, and I'll just keep an eye on that and, see if we can answer questions throughout the webinar today. I'm Anthony Archiga, VP of Sales and Marketing. Been with GemFind for 17 years, helping a lot of jewelers with digital marketing, web design. Emily is our Senior Project Manager, Team Lead. Thank you for being here, Emily. She's done a lot of edge integrations on Shopify, so she's like an expert there. How many do you think you've done so far, Emily? 50 probably?
At least 50, yes, minimum.
Yeah. And then we've got Rodney Roberts, data specialist. Rodney's been in the industry for about as long as me, I think, right?
Yeah, just about since 2007. So
Rodney is a data specialist. He's assisting in a lot of these point of sale integrations, and so glad to have Rodney on board. We've been in business for over 25 years. We help with, if you're not familiar with GemFind, we help jewelers with web design, digital marketing. We have a lot of apps that we've created around the Shopify ecosystem, a diamond link ring builder, different apps like that. We've partnered with Stoller. Again, we're an Edge partner, so we do assist in the Edge integrations on the Shopify websites that we build. And then we also have apps on or plugins on other platforms like WordPress and Magento, et cetera, as well. So some of the benefits of Shopify, there's over 4 million e-commerce sites as of 2023 on Shopify. And why that's a benefit is because Shopify has that buying power. So initially, like when Instagram, offered the direct selling, they went to Shopify first. Shopify was the first platform to get the opportunity to do direct selling on Instagram because they have that amount of merchants on the platform, as opposed to like a web company that might have a couple hundred jewelry stores. There's again 4.4 million, so they're going to integrate with Google Shopping, with Meta Shop, with eBay, with all these different other platforms that allow you to really scale your business. So you get the benefit of being a part of a platform that has that buying power. Shopify has over 11,000 employees on its staff. In addition to staff working directly for the company, over 700,000 app developers. We're one of those designers and Shopify partners, and that's that makes up the Shopify employment ecosystem. So we're a Shopify partner. Again, we build apps as well. So we're kind of the subject matter expert in the jewelry space. And so, one of the, some of the reasons why it's the preferred choice for jewelry retailers, it really allows you to scale your business by opening the doors to unlimited potential via marketing solutions. So, like I said, with the Google Shopping and with the Meta Shop and with, Pinterest integrations, all these different integrations, it really allows you to do business in the modern way. It's really important when you're doing digital marketing that you do what you call marketing automation. So, sending traffic to your website, retargeting people based on products they're clicking on, find lookalike audiences, do that on all the different networks on Google, on Meta. It's really important to be able to scale your business to be able to do marketing like that. Makes it a lot easier to be able to get set up. And then, again, it allows you to do business in a modern age, allows jewelers to tap into a network of resources, a lot of simple integrations, and then, like I said, marketing automation. And then, one thing that I want to mention is what are the trends of the consumer behavior and why we believe Shopify is so important. As you probably are aware, especially since COVID, it's just kind of ramped up the need for having a really good digital presence. After a slight dip in growth for e-commerce in 2023, the fine jewelry market is expected to see continued and steady growth to at least 2026. 11% growth projected through 2024. And by the year 2040, as much as 95% of shopping will be facilitated by e-commerce. So again, it's extremely important. Shopify just makes it easy to get set up for that. A couple other things that mentioned, and this kind of supports our kind of partnership with Edge. 54% of consumers say that over the next year they're likely to look at a product online and then buy it in store. 53% of shoppers are likely to look at a product in store and buy it online. 55% of consumers want to browse products online and check what's available in local stores. 47% of consumers want the option to check out online and return in store. And then 58% of consumers say flexible blended shipping options like buy online, pick up in store are important to them. So having that kind of easy shopping experience where the store experience is just like the website, and the website experience is just like being in store. So that's what it's all about today, is having that really omni-channel type of approach. A couple other kind of trends that have happened, especially since 2020, is all these e-commerce brands have come into the space. Brands like R8, Majuri, Vrive, Rare Carat, all these, they have their branding really dialed in. They have their digital marketing strategy extremely dialed in. They're doing all of the things, and Shopify allows you to compete with these big companies, but you have to be able to do business in the modern age to be able to compete. However, you do have a leg up on them because you have retail locations as a jewelry store owner. But if you can have the best of both worlds, where you have that great website experience that competes with some of these bigger players, and you have a store, that's like I think a winning formula. Also, the shift in consumer buying habits, it's all about convenience. It's also about brands that resonate with the values of the person purchasing. So it's all about understanding your unique selling proposition and really kind of crystallizing your messaging, and then also the influence of social media and buying decisions. And so just a couple things to keep in mind when you're developing your strategy along with Shopify. Some of the other benefits is there's Shopify payments. So as soon as you get online, it's really turnkey. You can start collecting orders. You put in your bank account information, it'll start transferring money to your bank account once you get your store set up. It's built, it's got Shop Pay, so it's got installments built right in partnership with the firm. I think it even allows for financing now too, right, Emily? The Shop Pay. So you can actually, have online financing built right into your website. And then integration with shipping couriers, with tracking updates. A lot of our clients like to use that. So when they are, when somebody places an order, they get in, they want to find out where their order is going to be. And so they, you can add the tracking number. They'll get an update on either through text or through email. Automated sales tax, pickup in store options, distraction-free checkout process. That's huge. Like Shopify converts higher than any other platform because of that, where it removes the header and footer, so you can just focus on checking out. Simple return processes, fraud analysis, sales reporting, and analytics. Shopify is just, in general, a lot easier to use than most other platforms. Also, streamlined marketing and analytics. We've had a lot of success when we do e-commerce campaigns. When you have all of those things dialed in, your brand strategy, and then we start incorporating marketing automation. One, for example, we started doing ads for them. They already have, they just moved to Shopify. Their social media was really dialed in. We ended up getting a 2,600% return on ad spend on Facebook, 2,800 return on ad spend on Google. Here's some screenshots of those campaigns, and their sales went up by 354% after we started doing those ads for them, because Shopify just really kind of helps a lot. And this is like an example of someone's year to date. We see a lot more success with Shopify since our clients have moved over to there from other platforms, as we kind of keep track of those things. Some of the Shopify apps that, again, it's one of the benefits of Shopify is that ecosystem with Shopify apps. There's the Facebook channel, the Google channel. These are the most installed Shopify apps in the App Store. Shopify Point of Sale, Shopify Email, the Buy Button channel, Shopify Inbox, where you can have messages that go into Shopify directly when somebody asks a question, Pinterest, product reviews, the Shop channel, and then Klaviyo, email marketing, and SMS. That's pretty common. Klaviyo is also a great email automation platform to be able to build your marketing automation strategy. So a lot of benefits there. I think, Rodney, you're going to take over from here, and we're going to go into a demo of Econ here shortly. But do you need to share your screen, Rodney? I think you're muted.
Is that better?
Yes. Yes.
Better or worse, I guess, depending on how you look at it.
That works.
All right. So I just wanted to go through a couple of the benefits of using the Edge Econ app to push things back from your system into the website. So one of the challenges that a lot of people face is getting their inventory ready to go to put onto a website as they get going, because a lot of times they'll have their product titles are not right, their product descriptions are not right, and most common pictures are not right. So one of the benefits is that when you go with Econ and you put in all this effort to get that work done, you end up with a real omni-channel experience where your products are available, as Anthony was saying, in the website and in the store. It's almost a real-time sync. It updates every 15 minutes or so. So if something sells off online, then it will be notified and you can process the sale in the store. Or similarly, if something sells in the store and it's no longer available for online, it'll come off the website within 15 minutes. So it's very important for customers. There's another feature in there that's available where customers that are created in your Shopify site can be passed to the Edge, and customers created in Edge can be passed to the Shopify site back and forth, just to kind of give that seamless experience that customers might expect. And the other cool thing is that the Edge allows for creation of meta tags, which become tags in the Shopify platform that we can use to create collections. So that just makes it very easy for you to group things together, like all of your rings in one place, all of your bracelets in one place, all of your earrings in one place, or even more on a granular level, collections, fall, spring, winter, and so on. As long as you tag it with the correct tag, it'll show. And as we get into the Edge demonstration, I'll show you kind of how that works. Some of the other just kind of standard ballpark features that always come with it is that items and images are uploaded from the Edge. So if your inventory exists in the system and you flagged it to go to the website, it'll go. Now, that's not to say that all inventory will go. You pick and you choose which items will go up to the website. If you notice that you've made a mistake and there's a problem on the website, fixing the problem is as simple as just changing the record in Edge, and then the next sync, it'll fix it up. So anytime that you make a change, pricing changes, better descriptions, better pictures, anything like that, it is reflected on the website.
Yeah, and the sync is every 15 minutes, right? And you can set it to, I think, 5-minute intervals, if you wanted to, if you're doing a lot of sales online.
Yeah, so you can shrink that window down to as small as 5 minutes. I think by default it's 15. And if you need to, you can also force it. You can force the sync at any time. You also get to the support of individually priced items or also bulk price items, just depending on which you need there. With the individually priced items, they can be linked and managed via either the vendor style number or the SKU number. So depending on what you want on your website, if you use the SKU number, then items that are removed from the Edge system will be removed from the website because they're no longer available, like if you sell it. If you use the design number, then you can choose to leave that on the website so that you can maybe reorder it and still fulfill that order. Kind of some pros and cons for both, but we can get into that as we implement the systems for you. Sold items are automatically removed so they can have the quantity reduced from inventory in Edge, which makes it easier to keep your inventory lined up. And then product types, collections, and tags are synchronized between the two systems. So when you have one in one side, it gets passed back and forth to the other side, which just makes things a lot easier to manage. With customers can be uploaded and downloaded. This can give, as we said, kind of a nice experience where the customer can find their record in the system, either in store or on the Shopify site, which is cool. A lot of people sometimes choose not to do this or choose to do it. It's optional. You do have the option whether you do or do not want to synchronize customers. So for any reason you want to keep your customer list in-house, you don't have to push it to the website. And again, anytime you make a change to a record, that change is synchronized. So that sort of kind of covers how that works.
Yeah, and side note that there is some additional costs with Edge if you do want to have that bi-directional integration.
Okay, I wasn't aware of that. All right, so the other thing is that with the other features, web cells can be automatically downloaded. So if you need to, if you're processing a lot of cells, you can download the cells and then import them into the Edge system rather than ringing them up one at a time. When you get them imported into Edge, then they're put into a queue. So from there, you just kind of go through and say, okay, this one go, this one go, this one go. But you kind of process them in order so that you can box them up and get them ready to ship. It tries to match based on the customer's email address. If it can't find a match based on the customer email address, then it creates a new customer record for you. If for some reason you have something in your Shopify store that doesn't exist as a product in Edge, it'll still go through on the sales slip to make sure that everything matches. It just comes through as a non-stock item or a miscellaneous charge. Then,
Sorry to interrupt, Rodney. We did have
Mhm.
one question that maybe you or Emily can answer.
Mhm.
Michael Lebton was asking, how do things like one product style with multiple ring sizes work?
That'd be a variation. Typically, when we push it up, we push up the product with product variants so that you can customize things like sizes. You also have the ability, similarly, to push up things like metal types and metal colors. Is that?
I'm actually going to step in and
Mhm.
actually what happens is we can add some code logic to the Shopify store to add in ring sizes because fortunately variables cannot be synced over into Shopify. So you'll sync over that one product, that diamond engagement ring, and then you'll let us know what ring size options you want, what starting size, what end size, and if they're half or quarter sizes. And then we will add some code logic to the product details page to include that ring size dropdown. And you will see that appear on the order once the customer has placed it.
Yeah, and just to clarify, yeah, Edge does not support variations currently, but Shopify does. And so, there's limitations, just to be aware of. But a lot of jewelers, that's not that important because they're, it's one product to to the product on Shopify. But if you did want to have variations where you have um, one product with multiple different metal types and metal colors and all that kind of stuff, a lot of our clients, because that's like something that could probably be reordered multiple times, they'll just add that direct to Shopify if you want to have variations.
And I guess the other thing would be is if that vendor is supported in Jewel Cloud, you have the Jewel Cloud, then you could add it through that method as well to get the variations. Would that be right? Yep. Okay.
Yeah, not sure about that, but
All right. And the other thing is that the Edge transactions, so sales that you make in Edge don't go up to Shopify, so they won't impact your reports there. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and we're going to jump into a little bit of the Edge demonstration and kind of the best practices for it. And for this, I think Emily's going to kind of tell us where to go, and we're going to follow her instructions since she's the expert on setting these up.
All right, so I'm going to breeze right through this. This is going to be the basic setup that you need to get your inventory managed in order for it to be what we call web ready. So Rodney, let's go ahead and start over in items. And let's go find a diamond engagement ring. We'll start in that category. All right, and click OK, and let's go find any ring. So what we're going to do here is kind of go over what the best practices are for the way to format your web titles, your descriptions, and what kind of meta tags we will need in order for us to use those tags for product mapping into collections, and also useful for other areas such as apps on the website and doing some custom code logic. So to start us off, we're going to migrate our way over to the website tab. Now, if you don't have this enabled, you will need to follow some steps to get that enabled on your dashboard here. But for the time being, we're going to go ahead and move forward. And the areas that are of concern for us are going to be this never upload and always upload checkboxes. What do these mean? The never upload means I never want to see this product appear on my website. This is going to block it from syncing to Shopify. If we uncheck it, that means you're ready to sync it over to Shopify, and it should be there in about 15 minutes or whichever you set your sync intervals to. Now, the always upload means I always want to continue selling this item, regardless if I have it in stock or not. So for those of you that have maybe 5 items of the same product, of course, they all have different SKUs, you can mark 4 of those as never upload, and 1 of them can be your main web product. So basically what we want to do is make sure that nothing is checked here. Now, by default, when we do go ahead and get your dashboard and everything set up here, we will mark everything as never upload to begin with. That way we don't sync everything to the website immediately. This will give you a little bit more control over what you want to appear on the website. So yes, you can go through each category, each vendor, and you can block certain ones from not syncing over. All right, next area of concern here is going to be our web title. Now, this is what we need to do in order to get it to be following best practices. So in Shopify, we want to do our best to make sure that no web title is the same. So that means every web title needs to be unique of their own. This can be a little challenging, but we have some tricks that can help achieve that. So for example, since we're under a diamond engagement ring, just for the sake of this right now, let's go ahead and type in 14 karat white gold, 1 carat, 1.00 CT. Let's see here, diamond solitaire engagement ring. Going to be our example today. So the way that I was able to make this product unique, because I'm sure you have a lot of 14 karat white gold solitaire diamond engagement rings, it's the carat size that is helping us make this unique. Now, if you have 2 of these that are the same, another way to make this a little bit more unique is to put the diamond shape, round, pear, oval, and you can stick that really anywhere there. This is just another way to help you give those unique titles. Again, they don't need to be as this long or this descriptive, but as long as they are unique to their own, that's good. All right, so Rodney, what do we do to make our web descriptions? What's the easiest way to get this done?
So the easiest way in this world of AI is to grab this web title and take it over to our friendly chat GPT. And I've got a prompt here that says, can you help me improve this product description so that it is search engine optimized? I need the description to be no more than 250 characters. In reality, it's 320, but AI is really bad at counting things. So I always shoot a little bit low to try and make sure that we get what we're looking for. So 250 characters. It is very important that the description remains accurate. So do not add or make up any details about the item that are not in the following description. And I'll put in my description. And certainly it's so happy to help. And it's given me a nice little description. And if I count the characters, I get 223. So that's really good for a description. So I can come back here, just throw it in there.
Beautiful. Wasn't that easy?
Piece of cake.
Excellent. All right, so the last area here, what we want to do is our meta tags. We can skip the meta title and meta description because we already have it formatted perfectly in the web title and web description. By default, Shopify will automatically make your primary web title and web description your meta title and web description. So as long as you have the first two formatted properly, you can skip over the other ones. Meta tags are very important. This is how we populate items into collections, or what we call data mapping or collection mapping.
And
in
I
Shopify.
just like to side note, meta tags are kind of an old language, I guess, because meta tags are no longer used in SEO. So that's what this was initially for, but now we use them for Shopify tags. So we map them over to Shopify for product tagging, which helps with product categorization.
We're just looking into the future when Meta buys Shopify, and then they'll be called meta tags again. You see.
Yeah.
The endless circle. Okay, so tags. We're just going to refer to them as tags. Keep it simple. Tags. Rodney, I want you to go ahead and I want you to copy your web title again, and I want you to paste it right into your tags. All right, so now we're going to use commas to separate our tags. I want you to separate your metal type, your metal color. Caret weight is not really necessary for tags. If you add these in, you're going to have so many, so I would remove that. Round is good, put a comma between that. Diamond is another tag. Solitaire is a tag. Now engagement ring is going to be the one that's tricky. Now if it's an item type, engagement ring, wedding ring, rings, necklaces, bracelets, I want them to be plural. The reason is because when you see it on the front end, it just makes more sense to the consumer facing. So item type will be plural. Everything else should be singular. All right. Now, other things that we can add for tags are gender, if we feel it's necessary. If you feel that need to add that, it may be needed for watches, not necessarily diamond engagement rings. But we can go ahead and include it there anyways. Another tag that you may want to include is the vendor name. Let's just go ahead and put GemFind for now, just so we have something in there. So there's other things that you can add. If you have a special occasion coming up, maybe this is a Mother's Day item or a bridal item, you can continue to add up to 400 tags. So just the only requirement here is that you keep the naming consistent, meaning if I have engagement rings, keep it as engagement rings. You have a second one, engagement ring, it will be generated as two separate tags in Shopify, which will make it very hard for us to consolidate the two. So keep your naming structure the same. We do recommend having it be what we call camel case. That would be the first letter of each word be capitalized. Capitalization, that's another term. And let's see here. I think that's it about tags. So
just
have
real
as many
quick
tags as you want, just make sure the naming is consistent.
with the tags, just for where they're going to end up, is that they'll end up over here where you can go in and you want to start building collections. And so to build a collection, you're going to use those tags. So you'll say, hey, I want to create a collection. And then you're going to say, hey, I want it to be automated. And you want to look for a product tag that matches one of those items that you just pushed in there. So it just makes it really easy for, tags are your friend because you want to go in there like Emily was saying, like Mother's Day, I don't know, like anniversary, Valentine's, any of these things that later on you may want to organize into collections to feature on your Shopify site. Those are great uses for tags. So this is kind of the other side of where those go, is that after you sync it, this is what you use to build collections to organize categories that you can browse through on the website.
Thank you, Rodney. It's very helpful too to keep the tags very simple. Try not to combine words like diamond engagement ring. That would be a little bit too much of a tag. We'd prefer diamond be one tag, engagement ring be a second tag. This gives us more flexibility. For example, if you want to have a category, solitaire engagement rings, we would need 2 tags to do this, engagement rings and solitaire, and then we can keep going on and creating more subcategories this way by having these tags to create them with. All right, so this is the basic setup that we need for our web tab. Of course, for images, all of that is controlled over the general tab as it was previously. So you'll upload all of your images here. Now let's say there's extra things that you want to include on your website as far as like additional information. You want to showcase all of your stone information and so forth. All of that is possible. We can sync over basically any of these fields that we see here on this page and the stones page. All of these can come over into Shopify and we can display them on the product details page, which makes it very flexible. Now there's other times where sometimes the way that it's structured is not user friendly. So we may go in there and create some new item detail fields. So the next part that I'm going to walk you through is how do we make this a little bit more automated? How do I auto-generate these website titles and tags automatically? So Rodney, go back over to the website tab for me for a second. You'll see that there is a suggest button next to your web title and your tags. I can show you how to set up a template. So when you add new inventory, you simply come to the website tab, you click those 2 buttons, you copy paste your title into ChatGPT to write a description, and you click save and push it to the website. That makes it very quick to get all this formatted the way you need it to. So to do that, we're going to migrate our way over into categories. Now this is where it gets to be a little time consuming, but once you get through the overall organization of each category list, you will just see a huge improvement with your efforts in data entry moving forward on anything new that you add. So to get this set up, we're going to go to the details tab first, and we're going to go see what kind of item details you have available. You'll also see here that we have an additional 8 web details. These may not be on by default on your platform, but we can enable these to give you additional web details. Sometimes I get some clients that come to me and say, Emily, I really don't want to mess with my current item details. They're not accurate. It's going to be a nightmare to redo them. Can we just start over with a fresh, item detail list? And that's when we'll just simply enable the web details. These will display on that website tab, so it helps you just stay a little bit more organized as to what information is being pushed to the website. So Rodney, we're going to go ahead and click into the style. When by default, Edge has a list already created. However, the list may not be formatted the way we need to generate these templates. So you will need to go through each one of these to see how the naming is structured. So continue all the way through, Rodney, till we get to our list. Go one more. So we have here a short value and a long value. The short value is technically what gets seen on your printed tags in the store that you put on the jewelry. The long value is actually what we want to see from the consumer facing. So we want to make sure that the long values are the areas that are spelled the way we want it to be spelled. Right now, this all looks good. So Rodney, let's go ahead and move on to our color, and we'll go through the metal. These are all the default Edge lists. Now, I do know for the metal, you will need to go in here and update these because they won't be formatted this way. But what we're seeing right here on Rodney's screen is exactly the way that these should be formatted. 18K, 24K, 14K. The K does not have to be capitalized, but if you choose to go one way or the other, just make sure you stick with that throughout everything, either capital K or lowercase. All right, this all looks good, Rodney. Let's just go double check on our color. Once we have all these formatted, you will see how it will all come together. So for our metal color, we want to make sure that it's spelled out yellow, white, rose, gold, just the way we have it here. There might be a tritone or multicolor, so you can always go ahead and add or remove values if you need to. All right, go ahead and save and finish. There is one other field that we can add here. I know a lot of people are asking how to add videos to their website. Basically, what we would do here is we would create an item detail field for this. And this is going to be nothing more than a simple text input field, custom text field. Custom detail field.
So you have to make sure you choose text. You got to make sure you choose custom detail and hit next. I'll show you in just a second how to create a whole new one. Just we'll touch base on that real fast. So when you do want to create a new detail, you just click on create, and then it's your detail name. So just whatever kind of detail you want to put in here.
Important thing to note, you need to make sure that your detailed names are all unique. You cannot have any that are the same duplicate. So what I usually do sometimes is just write the word web in front of it, just so you know it's an indication that it's needed for your web stuff.
So we can say a web disclaimer if we want to put a text one in there. Really, we can put whatever we want. We could say, okay, create new, next. And then in here, it's going to say, what type of detail is it? Is it a number? Is it a dollar? Is it text? Does it come from a list? You're going to use a lot of text and list primarily. So when you do list, it's going to say, hey, do you want to use an existing list? Chances are you do not. Most of the time, you're going to want to create a new list. It'll give it a name, and then you can go forward and start putting your values in. You can also, if you do text, it's just going to say, okay, custom detail, and then it will ask us to just store free text in it. Those are the basic ones that you're going to kind of deal with. So that's like
this
a free
web
text
disclaimer one. Yeah, the web disclaimer one is actually a good one too to have here, because sometimes you want to have certain messages appear on your product page, such as, please allow additional processing time, or this item is in stock and ready to ship, for some examples. So you can come in here and you can write your own product disclaimer note right here in your system, and we can map that onto your product page.
And something else that's interesting to know is that, so I've just added a web disclaimer here, and I'm in my first category. Down here, I've got these little paddles that help me move through the categories. So I can go to my next category, and you'll see I don't have that in here. So I could either recreate it entirely, or I could come up here and say, oh, hey, I need to go get my web disclaimer. And I could just pull it from another detail and take it out of there. And then that saves me some time, particularly with the ones that are long lists, because creating a list over and over and over again can be a real pain. So if I just do that, then it will pull the field through. And that's how I can kind of keep them all lined up, because you'll need to go through each one of your categories to make sure they've got that relevant details that will need to go for the website.
Why don't we pause real quick and just, if anyone has any questions, feel free to type in the Q&A. There was one question that came in a little bit ago. It says, what's the best way to manage Edge and Shopify inventory since Edge doesn't support variant uploads? I would just say, you would use the Edge and Shopify, econ integration for all one-of-a-kind, items essentially. And then if you want to have variants, then you would load those directly into Shopify. That's how you would do it, probably, right, Emily?
Yes. Now, when it comes to variants, if it's just the metal color we want to change, that technically doesn't reflect, change in price. So we can add different variants to the product page as long as it doesn't change the price. We can have it, add metal color or ring size. But as far as your metal type, if we get to 14 karat, 18 karat platinum, clearly there's going to be a price change there. That, unfortunately, we won't be able to hard code into the site, and I don't believe Edge is going to be able to accommodate that either. So each one of those items would have to come over as a simple product.
Or again, you would just
or manually upload.
If you want variants, you would manually upload those ones direct to Shopify through the sheet or to the upload. Also, Jess was asking, would this be the best way to say on engagement ring, Centerstone not included in price in the disclaimer? I think she's asking.
Yes, 100%.
Sounds good. Thank you. Feel free to type in questions throughout the presentation, but yeah, if you want to continue, and I'll let you know if there's any other questions that come in. No problem, Jess.
Yeah. Thank you, Anthony. All right, so let's go ahead. I think we're getting kind of tight here on time, so we'll move forward. But this is pretty much how we set up your item details. Now, what do we do with these item details once we have them all created? We can set a description template up. So we're going to move over to that tab. Now you'll see here in the middle, we have some radio buttons. We want to go ahead and select web title first. If you're ready, you can go ahead and delete everything you have in there. All right, so if we remember our product title from before, we had 14 karat, white gold, 1 carat, diamond solitaire engagement ring. So what we need to do is we need to take these values that we've created in our item details to create this title. So we're going to start with our item detail field group 1. That's where we've updated our metal and color. So go ahead and double click on metal and color. And now we want to go ahead and scroll down under the stone. We're going to look for TWT. This is going to be our total carat weight. All right, now after this, I want you to manually type in CT and enter a space after the CT. All right, so now we're going to type in the word diamond. Just manually type it in. And the reason being is because we're under category diamond engagement rings. So it's okay for us to manually type this in. After diamond, we're going to go ahead and go find your style under your detail group 1.
There it is.
All right, and then after this, just do a space and then manually type in the word engagement ring. All right, let's go ahead and save and stay. And we will go ahead and fill out our tags while we're on this template. Tags are going to be pretty easy. You can just go ahead and go under your detail field group 1, double click style, metal, color, and anything else you may have put in here, your shape, your stone type, for example. Now, some other things we'll want to manually type in here is possibly the word diamond, and then I would do comma, engagement rings, because remember these are tags, so we want it to be plural for item type. All right, go ahead and save and close because we're all set here. Now we're going to go back over into items and we're going to go find an item under engagement rings. Now, in order for these to work, these description templates, we need to make sure we are filling in our data. So you will need to go through these ring details here that we see Rodney toggling right now, making sure that they are populated. If they're left blank, your description is going to come out a little funky. It could be missing pieces. So we need to make sure we have all these values filled in.
We also called values from the stones table, so we have to put in a stone. Okay.
All right, so now we can go over to the website tab. And now let's go ahead and click suggest next to the web title. 14 karat, yellow gold, 1.36 carat, diamond, modern engagement ring. That works.
Do you know if there's any way to do this in bulk so you don't have to do this for each individual product description?
How do you mean do it in bulk?
Like where you can load, like you can ask to write descriptions for like 100 products at once in ChatGPT.
Maybe if you got a spreadsheet or something of it, we're working on something kind of behind the scenes that might help with that. But right now, no, it's kind of, you just got to go do it this way. All right. As long as I've got good pictures, this one's ready to go. So I'd say, whew.
Yep, uncheck the never upload button and sync it to the website.
Then
All right,
decide we
Ryan,
get
go ahead
pushed up.
and
Mhm.
we'll just say it's been 15 minutes. Let's go check out Shopify backend real quick. Since you already have it pulled up, I'll let you go ahead and keep sharing. All right, so let's go over into products. Do you have to sync to Edge? Okay, perfect. So
I
let's
don't know.
go.
I don't know if it's synced to that edge, but it's synced to something.
All right, I'm going to take over and share my screen. I have one here that's
Okay.
linked up already.
Okay,
All
so
right, so once an item comes over into Edge, or into Shopify, excuse me, this is what you'll see. You got your title, you got your description, you have your images. We have our product type. Now this type is, as you can see, a diamond engagement rings. This is going to be the same as what your category type is in Edge. So this will always match. We also have our vendor, and we also have tags that come over. So here's all this client's tags, and you can see they're very descriptive, which helps us generate our titles. What also comes over here is your price. Your sale price will also come over as long as you have that entered into Edge. We get our SKU number from Edge, and that is pretty much it. Now, if we go view this on the front end, see here we have all the information we need. Title, SKU, description, and here's your question about the ring size dropdown. We were able to add this by code logic. Now we also have some additional information here. Metal color, finish, stone type, shape, ring size, style. These are all item detail fields that we can display here. So if you want to go ahead and add a lot more item details, being more descriptive about your product, as long as it's, clarity, cut, color, all that good stuff, you can keep going on and adding more item details. Another area that a lot of y'all seem to be doing is working with Lightbox, Pickup Media, having all of your images syncing over from their platform into Edge. We can also carry over videos. Either they can come from YouTube, or we can also have them come over from Pickup Media. This right here, again, is nothing more than an item detail field. So you'll create an item detail field for that category to enter in, copy and paste your code into that custom text block. So that way it will come over into Shopify for us to be able to map on your page for you. Again, we prefer everything to be hosted on a third party, not directly in Shopify. So by uploading any kind of product videos to YouTube, Vimeo, or using Pickup Media's Lightbox, that's also recommended for the best results here. All right, so that is pretty much the gist of it. I know that Rodney kind of already talked about a little bit of collections and how we map in our collections, but you can see here, if I want to do bracelets, I simply just go look for a tag that is equal to bracelets. Now you can see here, this client has two tags, one with bracelet and one with bracelets. That's why I wanted to show this example. It's not easy for us to consolidate things together like this. So really try to make sure that your spelling is consistent. Another thing that is going to be important to know about the products is apps. If you want to install the advanced search filter app, which this client has here, to give us more flexibility over your filter groups that we want to display. These are also relying on tags. So you can see this is why I do item type as a plural. So that way it just makes more sense. Earrings, necklaces. This client didn't do it necessarily for all of them, but you can just see here how it looks off if it's not consistent. So, but we could do a lot of different types, metal type, metal color, stone type, item type, shape, style. You can keep going on. I mean, you can do carat weight if you want to do that too, or sometimes band width is another filter group that you may want to have on there. But to use a lot of Shopify apps, they will rely on tags. So I can't stress it enough. Tags are very, very important when doing your data in Edge. All right, I know that was kind of very quick to plow through all this in such a short time, but hopefully you learned something, and if you have any questions, let me know.
Sounds good. Thank you, Emily. Go ahead and share my screen, but yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to type them in on the Q&A and be happy to answer any questions. Give a few minutes there. Oh, here it is.
It's all explained so clearly that there's no questions. That's awesome.
Also, just if you do want to have a consultation or just need some advice or have additional questions that you want to have a separate Zoom meeting or just email communication, you can always email me, Anthony at GemFind.com. I could pull in Emily or Rodney, whoever we need. And this is my direct phone number, 800-373-4373, extension 115. Be happy to kind of answer any questions you might have. Looks like we have Michael is asking, will the recording or slides be emailed to us? Yes, we typically always will send that over. Sarah on our team will be sending that over probably either late this week or early next week normally. So yes, we will be sending that over. Any other questions? No, sounds good, Michael, no problem. But yes, we feel pretty what's the price to get GemFind digital? Oh, digital marketing, Arslan asked. And it really just depends on what the project is and what services. But if you're looking for help with the edge integration, it depends on how many collections you have and how many tags and item details and all those different things. So and how advanced you want to get with it. So I just recommend getting in touch with us and we can give you an estimate there. Thank you, Arslan. Any other questions at all? Give it about another minute or so. Any final thoughts, Rodney or Emily?
I am going to touch base real quick on the difference between using edge style number versus edge SKU number. Just one heavy topic here that I did not touch base on. So there's going to be times when you know that you can restock items, or you just have a lot of items in stock that you don't want to push all to the website, but necessarily, just overall good management. Another thing we want to think about is what happens when an item sells and gets taken off of the website. How is that going to impact your Google search rankings? Right now, if you do not have proper 301 redirects or to handle your 404 error pages, there are apps out there that can help you manage this. But if you choose to go with the vendor style number in Edge, this means that the item will continue selling when out of stock, meaning that it will never be taken off of the website until you tell it to come off the website, sort of like that always upload tab. Now, if we stick with the Edge SKU number, that means when an order is placed, it's going to show as sold out on the website first. You're going to go into Edge, you're going to mark the item as sold, and then Edge is going to direct Shopify to remove that from your website. This is now going to result in a 404 error page unless you are handling your 301 redirects. So the way you can eliminate having to manage that so heavily is to switch over to the vendor style number. But just keep in mind that it's going to continue selling even if it's out of stock. So if it's a one-of-a-kind piece, it may not be the best way to go with, but it is possible just to keep it up on the website, for as long as you need to. You can also mark a tag on there that says out of stock, so that way we can hide the add to cart button and just have it be contact us is another solution.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for that, because that has been an issue in the past that we've come across, is that we kept getting 404 errors on a client's website, and the SEO wasn't progressing as quickly as we like because Google kept looking at it like there was 404 errors constantly. So it's really important to figure that part of it out. Looks like we had a couple more questions. Marty asked, if I have one more item and use Edge SKU to upload to site, will customer be able to buy all I have or one at a time? Emily. Did
So
you?
in this case, we disable the quantity that you can buy. Technically, if you're going to stick with the edge SKU number, it's just going to sync over as one quantity. If we mark that checkbox that says always upload, that's going to say ignore the quantity, continue selling it as many as I want. So technically, yes, the customer could place 50 orders of the same product. So if you want to eliminate that, then I would just recommend keeping them as simple products on the website so they can only place one order at a time.
One other question
Hopefully.
from anonymous attendee is, what if you use multiple vendors for the same product? Would you still recommend using the vendor style number?
Multiple vendors for the same product. Same product, such as you have 3 different vendors for that selling engagement rings? Because I'm not understanding the question fully.
I guess that's probably what they're saying. Maybe that, there might be like a real standard engagement ring solitaire setting that you can get from either Stellar or Overnight. That's probably pretty much the same.
Well, or maybe like something like a brand of jewelry cleaner. I'd say it doesn't really matter. You can still use their SKU because on the back end of it, the number is still it's still looking at the vendor plus the stock
Well,
number style.
I think they're asking more in regards to what Emily mentioned about the product getting removed. So if you use the vendor style number, the product won't get a 404 error. So I would just say, pick one. That'd be my suggestion is pick one of the style numbers, if that's the case. Or I think you could probably create your own vendor style number, like a fake one. Yeah, and that's what they mentioned. If we ordered the same type of setting from 3 different vendors, so yeah, probably like one ring that you can get from Stellar or Overnight or Quality Gold, something like that.
I would just set one as your master web item, and then you could just keep track of the quantity in-house to make sure that you have enough to fulfill the orders.
Yeah. Okay, any other questions at all? Feel free to type them in. We've got about 1 more minute. If not, thank you everyone for attending the webinar today, and thank you Emily and Rodney for your time. It was a lot of good information. Again, feel free to reach out to us if you have any additional questions. You can just email me or call me with the number or email on the screen. Thank you, Marty. Appreciate that. All right, thanks everyone. Have a great rest of your afternoon. And again, Emily and Rodney, thanks for your involvement.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Anthony.
All right, take care.
Thanks, everybody. Bye.
All right, thanks everybody. All right, take care.
Bye.